Trail talk time. Out on this beauty of a trail. I wanted to talk about self-worth today and comparing yourself to others. So often, many of us are comparing ourselves to other people and feeling inferior, and it's lowering our self-worth and our value of ourselves. And I watched a really good video from someone on YouTube, Master Teacher 33, the other day, and he really inspired me. He talked about how often many of us might want to do something, but we're looking up to all these people who have attained these levels of mastery in their field, and we're trying to measure up to these levels as if we're supposed to be that good already from the level that we're at. And it makes us feel like we shouldn't even try because we're not that good. And this is just, we're not seeing the big picture. We're not realizing that they've climbed their way up to that level. Nobody starts with their best product, whatever it is you do. Let's say you want to make music. Nobody starts out making the best song they're ever going to make right away. It's going to start off as something pretty rough, and you're eventually going to get better as you practice and continue to work in your field on your craft, and you're going to polish your product. So you've just got to realize that wherever you're starting, wherever you are, is good enough. It's more than good enough. And just realize that your worth is going to continue to increase as you work on your craft. But it's unfair to yourself to try and compare to others who have been working on it for so much longer than you have. There was a very good lesson that I learned from KRS-One before about the mind state that started to develop in New York in the 70s that pretty much spawned the birth of hip-hop. And it was this shift in mindset and consciousness, where people were so disenfranchised and seen as outcasts in society, right? And they went from basically really wanting to be part of this system that was shunning them to saying, you know what? We don't want to be part of that anymore. We want to create our own thing, our own society. And they started giving themselves the value and not looking outside of themselves for that. And they said, you know what? What we have now is amazing. We're rich already. And they gave themselves that mindset that we don't need to look to this system to bring us these riches that we're seeking. We already have them. Hip-hop started by, at least the musical aspect, by taking records that already existed and turning them into something else and creating their own brand new unique form of music just by playing with it and sort of remixing it and using what they had to create this whole new world for themselves. And it's this whole mindset that started to shift, and people suddenly realized, you can take whatever you have, and it's all a mindset as to how much it's really worth. You know, he used the example of a simple rag, like a bandana, you know, maybe worth 10 to 50 cents at the time, however much it was. And they said, you know what, we're gonna rock this as if it's the shit, as if it's the best thing, as if it's high fashion. And we're gonna make it look cool because we say it is. And now you see bandanas for sale all over the place for a lot more money. You can buy designer do-rags and bandanas and stuff for a lot more money because of the mindset of the value, you know? It shifted. And so if you feel like maybe, you know, there's nothing new under the sun, there's no sense in creating something because it's already been done, this is what we've always been doing since the dawn of mankind, you know? We take what we have and we use it to create something new. You know, if people just looked at the first model of car, for instance, I was just thinking about, like, there's so many different models and types of car and stuff like that. It's not a new concept. They're just taking it and kind of putting their own spin on it and making their own version of these things, whether it be cars or anything, fashion, music, anything you want to do. Just start from where you are. You know, you're going to get better, but only if you start and only if you keep going. You know, as I make music, as I was walking here to this trail, I was listening to some of my older recordings of practicing some music I've been working on lately, and it's just amazing to see my progress. You know, I started off stumbling on certain words. Maybe I didn't get the flow or the rhythm right in certain areas. My voice wasn't as confident as I was, you know, expressing myself as I was, you know, making these songs. But as I continue to practice and work on it and just believe in myself, it gets better and better. And I can just see this vast improvement from when I first started these songs to my level that I'm at now. You know, it's incredible to see. And so you got to kind of give yourself that proof by just starting wherever you are and saying, you know what, I've got this right now, it's good enough. And have that confidence and that trust in yourself that, you know, you're going to do a good job at whatever you're trying to do. And there's a practical lesson or a technique or an exercise that I learned from Teal Swan on YouTube. She's an incredible teacher as well, about self-love. And she talks about, you know, she gives you this challenge for a year, no matter what choice you're making, to ask yourself, what would somebody who loves themselves do in this moment? What would somebody who truly loves themselves do right now, and what choice would they make? And if you ask yourself this, you will get an answer. You know, we have our intuition guiding us, and it might be a little subtle thing, but if you pay attention, then you will be guided to the answer. And so I think that was a very helpful technique to use. You know, if you're feeling a bit indecisive at times and you don't know what to do, you don't know what choice to make, just ask yourself, what would I do if I really loved myself? What choice would I make? What would somebody who loves themselves do in this moment? Even the littlest choices, you know, she made the example of just maybe even choosing between an apple and orange, let's say. What would somebody who loves themselves choose? And for whatever reason, you will get this answer. and you will be guided in the right direction. So yeah, I just wanted to encourage anybody watching this to really go for whatever they want to do in life, and don't feel like you have to compare yourself to people who have achieved these greater levels of it, you know. Just start where you are and realize that you're more than enough right now, and you will continue to get better. So that's all I wanted to share for today. Hope everyone has an amazing day. Peace and limitless love.